Crisis emergency episode. I have declared crisis emergency episode. And because of, if you know me, that probably sounded sarcastic. I probably shouldn't have started it that way because it actually has been kind of a crisis emergency around here for the last few days. Something went wrong this week and most of the podcast, the 10-Minute Bible Hour podcast, went away. It just went offline. And for most of the last 7 days, only the most recent 100 episodes have been available. It's been quite the thing. I've heard from so many of you, and all of you have been great, by the way. What a weird but wonderful excuse to get to interact with and hear from so many cool people who otherwise maybe I wouldn't meet. So everybody who checked in, thanks for checking in. Thanks for liking the podcast. Thanks for caring that it wasn't available. I've been talking with the people who run the service. It's called Libsyn. Liberated Syndication is what that is short for. I've been talking with them all week long. Initially, the communication was not super, and that was pretty frustrating. Eventually, it got far enough up the ladder that I heard from somebody I know there who I've interacted with in the past and he's done a really good job of keeping me up to speed on what's going on. As of this morning, it looks like the problem is fixed on their end. It might take a little while to repopulate all of the episodes, maybe in Spotify. But just now, before I jumped on the microphone, I went and tried a bunch of different podcast players from around the internet, including my favorite, which is Podcast Addict. And everything was back up, going all the way back to episode 1 of season 1 of Matthew. However, Spotify is only showing the most recent 100 episodes right now, but I am being assured that with just a little bit of time for things to refresh, that should be back online and good to go. What a weird week. I went and started trying to put it all back together frantically to see, maybe I could re-upload everything real quick. And no, it is not real quick. It's a lot of time we've spent together. I tried to just put Matthew on YouTube. I have a lot of that in sort of videoified form, not me talking into a microphone on video. You don't need that, but just like a condensed version of Matthew that I've had work done on in the past, and I thought maybe I would release someday. I tried to finish line that. It's like 5 days long. It's just not easily replaced is the point. So a few realizations that this little incident, which now mostly seems to be in the rearview mirror, I've got a few realizations here that have come to mind. One, I need to think about how to build this a little differently so I have some insurance against something like this going wrong in the future. And I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do to have the whole thing backed up on the internet in a way that you could still get if the typical podcast feed system that all podcasts rely on were to go away. So one, I'm thinking about that. Two, I'm thinking about, all right, well, how do I make the whole thing more accessible, easier to search and work with, more user-friendly for you? Because 3, the magnitude of this is, it's just a lot more significant than I guess I'd noticed in terms of just how much Bible conversation you and I have had. When it's spread out over whatever it's been, 6 years, it feels like a part of my daily rhythm. Because it is. I think about it a lot. I work on it a lot. I read books and prepare and process even when I'm not on the microphone recording all of this. But dang, when you actually step back and think about just how much water under the bridge we have together, woo, it's a lot. And I guess the fourth thing that makes me think of is gratitude. What a cool thing to get to do something like this, what we've done together, for this kind of a chunk of time. That's really special. I have this apparently endless appetite for trying to think honestly about the Bible and trying to think about it in the context of human behavior and storytelling and history, all coming from the assumption, I'm happy to disclose my biases, all coming from the assumption that I think it's from God. Apparently some of you have an endless appetite for that as well. Cool. Well, I'm honored that you would spend or fill some of that appetite with me. I was honored before all of this week's shenanigans broke loose. I'm even more honored now that I've had to dig into trying to solve all this and actually had to step back and take a moment to look at the sheer size, the sheer volume of time and thought and relationship that we've spent together. So that's pretty cool. So I guess in summary, I think everything is working again now. If it isn't, it is in the process of re-updating so that it will work. If you're wanting to grab content like right this second and your preferred podcast player is not working, I know that Podcast Addict is working right now as I publish this, and Podcast Addict is free. You can get it, on any smartphone or device or whatever, and lots of internet-based podcast players or services. If you just search 10-Minute Bible Hour, it's working there, and I think everything is working on my website as well. So if your preferred player isn't quite updated yet, it's working somewhere else. So one, it got pretty bad and weird there for a week. Sorry about that. That was crazy. Two, everything is either up and running again or real close, depending on what player you prefer. And three, I appreciate you more now than I did 7 days ago before all of this started, because I've just been forced to think about the enterprise and what we have done together and what we have ahead of us. And thank you. I like you. I'm grateful to you. All right. This concludes our special emergency crisis podcast. Over the next few days, we'll wrap things up in Galatians. I'll give you a hint as to how many episodes that's going to be total. It's 300. It's going to be 300 episodes. And then we're on to Philemon, and that's going to be pretty awesome. Okay, that's plenty for now. I'm Matt. This is the 10-Minute Bible Hour special crisis emergency alert crisis podcast episode. Let's maybe not do this kind of episode again soon. Okay, bye now.